Good evening, everyone. This is an update on the 64 Impala project I'm doing. Got the bearing cut off of the axle that we're having problems with. Everything looks good on the bearing side. The races look good, and it was a single roll bearing. But yeah, there's that plastic cage. It's kind of. There's the balls over here. But everything seems to be okay. I'm gonna mic the balls, and yeah, but there's no scoring or anything on the races at all. But the sealing surfaces look. This is the sealing surface here, and this is the sealing surface for that really thin seal here on the axle flange side of the bearing. So yeah, everything looks good. But the grease, when I cut it out, it was just straight gear oil. So I have a theory here, and it goes for any bearing. If you overpack a bearing that has a seal that doesn't have a breather on it, and the bearing gets hot, the oil has to go somewhere, so it's going to poop out. But there's got to be something else happening here. There's got to be a reason for this gear oil issue. So we're going to crawl under the car, and we'll have a chat again when I get under the car. Welcome back. We're under the car here. So yeah, as we were talking about heat in the bearings, and if it's a closed space with too much grease, it will tend to push out the seal. But I've come up with another theory here as well. Here's a factory style breather, and it works. It appears to work, but when I blow on it, every once in a while, it will stick. So it may have been pressurizing. I'm not sure. So I don't know what to say here, but it doesn't take a whole lot of pressure. If I can push it open, even when it does stick with my mouth, I don't think that that would be much of a problem. But however, what I did here was I just put a barb fitting in it and ran a hose and ran it over and through the hole in the end of where the trailing arm comes in here. Just put a tie wrap on it, and now it's vented, completely vented open. So if there's any issue whatsoever, this is the elimination process, a process of elimination, and this is all I can think of on my end. Like I said, the theory of the grease expansion, naturally heat, when you heat something up, it expands, and if you have too much grease in, like I said, it'll push it out. But we've got gear oil pushing past that inner seal that I showed. That's odd, and it's happened several times. But everything's okay now. There's the little vent here. It's right here, and that's where you'll start noticing oil puking out if you have an issue right away. But what happened was a blob of grease had packed that hole up, and it like you I'd explained in the previous video, it just filled up the bearing retainer and went over and puked all over the brake shoes. So it is what it is. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. When I installed the new bearing, I lubricated the bore as well as the O-rings that seal it, just like I did before. That's not where the oil was coming from. I had a comment from a previous video that I had done stating that it may have been the bore, and no, everything looks good. If you have a spun bearing, if a bearing spins, you'll end up gouging the mating surfaces, because the bearing's harder, as a hard surface, it'll chew up the bore of the housing extension. And this isn't the case. Everything was really nice and tight, looked really good, just like the prior installations on this side. Not a problem at all. Yeah, we'll just keep an eye on it. I'm really hesitant to put the new brake shoes and everything on, so I cleaned them up the best I could. And if this goes for more than 50 miles, then I'm doing a complete brake job in the back, like I wanted to do. But the shoes weren't saturated. This happened just sitting here in the garage, so it's really disappointing. It was just one spot. Even the surface of the drum where the shoes ride was clean and dry. So this occurred while sitting in here for the past couple of months. It's kind of odd. Anyway, if this pressure, if I relieve the pressure, if that's the case, I'll continue an update here. But this seems to be good. Like I said, I can blow on it, and it doesn't take much to blow on it, and that'd be pathetic if those seals can't handle that type of a pressure on them. It's very minuscule. Anyways, I'm going to shut up here and carry on with this job. I've got to wipe down the inner part of the wheel where it was leaking on the wheel and dribble down the tire a little bit. Get the wheel back on and get this thing rolled out and give it a bath. It's just filthy. But yeah, here it's perplexing and I'm frustrated. Any suggestions? Like I don't have anything. I did due diligence. I've chucked the axle up on V blocks and used the dial indicator. Everything's true. The flange is true. Everything's good. So I have complete faith in the axle assembly itself being fine. But and the other people are having issues with this too. The fix for it is just put a new bearing in it. I want to figure out what the hell's going on. And yeah, if this pressure situation helps it or whatever the case might be, I don't know. But I'm gonna keep I've got a, what do you call it, a digital heat gun, not a heat gun, but you know what I mean, a thermometer, and I'll keep that with me and I'll check the heat of the bearing. But it really shouldn't get that hot. The differential's, it's operating temperature, but it's cool to the touch. Not cool to the touch, but I can't burn my hand on it. You'll. I never had any issues with heat at all, and the brakes don't get smoking hot to transfer heat into the axle like that. So, like I said, the original bearings never had this issue. I changed them because they were noisy. And yeah, it was preventive maintenance. But I don't like doing this. This side was replaced the last time for that problem and doesn't exhibit any sort of leak. That's just dust. That was me checking it out, make sure there was nothing. That's nothing. And this is the little vent right here, and there's nothing. This is just dust. So yeah, keep an eye on it, and we'll keep you updated. Thank you for your patience with this and this whole project. It's been quite a deal. Yeah, I haven't been down here for a while. And a nice painted it red like the oxide primer. Alright, thank you very much for watching. I'll carry on and we'll keep you posted. Take care.